G'day fellas and welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 game. I know you want me to say it, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Welcome back to another casted game. Oh man, every single time. You know what? I reckon in another 3 years time I'm still going to be forcing myself to try not to say it. But anyway. Welcome fellas, welcome to another Age of Empires 4 game. This one's a little bit interesting. Map is Arabia. Spawning in over on the west side of the map, we've got Peru, who is playing as the Chinese in the color red. And on the opposite side of the map in the color blue, we've got a player by the name of I Refuse to Play Delhi. And they are playing as Delhi. So, a little bit curious. Not really sure exactly what our Delhi player... you know, maybe they forgot about their username. Maybe they've given into the Delhi hype. You know, sometimes you forget about, you know, the fact that you made these commitments to some people, and then it's 2 o'clock on a Friday, and people are like, "Hey, where are you? I thought we were going to do this thing." Anyway, starting off with what appears to be a pretty familiar build order. Just having a look at this. So early wheelbarrow, early efficient production. Early gold mine, kind of looks like the Beast QD build order. And just doing a little bit of scouting over on the other side. Chinese player Peru, he's going to be doing just this standard stuff. Just going to be looking for that Imperial official nice and early. Now, keep in mind, this is on the old patch. Or when I say the old patch, I mean it's not on the public update preview. So it means that we haven't got the nerfs yet for China. I say nerfs, but they're kind of changes. I don't know. To be honest, I was reading, I think it was a Reddit thread. No, it was the Age of Empires 4 forums, and they were like, like, people were literally saying this, and I kind of get it. Like, they are nerfing China in the early game, like, you know, because they're changing the cost of the Imperial official from 150 food to 100 food and 50 gold. And they're nerfing China when they literally just buffed the prelate. They've like buffed basically every fucking unit in the game, every like support unit, and then China's like Imperial official just gets nerfed. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm still looking forward to seeing what the changes are. Ideally, and just seeing how they mesh. Ideally, the thing for me is that I would love to see the Imperial, because they're making it actually train longer as well. So at the moment it trains for 20 seconds, which means that it is the equivalent to a villager. But that's getting pushed up to 30 seconds, which is obviously 1.5 villagers. Now, that's obviously quite... Oh gosh, what is going on down there? A lot of sheep, a lot of wolves. So that's quite a lot of villager or town center idle time, because normally you'd get 2 out in the beginning like this. So obviously they don't want people doing this, I guess, and they're nerfing it. So one of the suggestions I would like to make is, if you're going to do that, fine. But if you could make it so the Imperial Academy can all... if you could make it so the Imperial... I don't think he's gone for an Imperial Academy. So if you could make it so the Imperial Academy... could actually make Imperial officials. That would be amazing. So you know the landmark that you get that you normally put in your base. Like if you had it, you'd probably put it like right there in between these two bad boys. You could make that, or you could have that so that can make it. That way you don't at least get idle time from the town center. Because it is a lot. Like, basically, it's going from 4 villages for 4 Imperial officials up to 6 villages, which is pretty expensive, like, when you think about it when it comes to idle time. All right, we'll head over to I Refuse to Play Delhi's perspective. Going to be dropping down the Dome of the Faith, nice and close to his mosque as well. Going for the standard lumber camp. Everything looks pretty good over in their base. But now, of course, we've got the scout that's spotted out the villagers. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a forward shenanigan. Got to be getting that down pretty quick. You can actually see that Delhi going to be pulling vills here. So that is 9 villagers that they are pulling right now to try and get this Dome of the Faith up, because the problem is, if this Barbican gets up before the Dome of the Faith gets up, then what's going to happen is the Barbican is just going to 2-shot the villagers underneath here. And you want to avoid that from happening, because ideally you want to keep your villagers alive. And now we can see the Scout going to be falling back here. Ideally you want to be using the Scout to tank the damage, and then that way that Barbican has to actually manually fire down. But it looks like the Scout can be getting out of there. Probably want to just keep it there and just keep it sieging up. He manages to get it up, so not bad, but the Barbican goes up, and this is actually a really good Barbican. Can we just talk about how good this Barbican is? So up against the Delhi and the Abbasid, as you guys would know, Delhi and Abbasid both get bonuses towards berries. So that means that whenever there's a berry patch on the map, they have much more incentive than other civs to go and get that berry patch. Take a look at this Barbican. not only does it take out one of the berry patches, it also takes out the second berry patch as well. And now it's just going to sit here annoying the Delhi player all game. So pretty smart move there with the Barbican. I got to say, I don't think you could have got that any more perfect, because that, like you can see, it's just, if there was a single villager there, it would just keep getting shot. But we'll check in now on our Delhi player and see what they're up to. Looks like they're going for Horticulture and Sanctity, and getting all their upgrades in, so doing the right thing here. Stacking up a fair bit of wood right there, though, so we'll have to check in with them shortly and see how they're doing. Back over in the base of Peru, not much happening just yet. Looks like we're going to have a forward barracks coming down. So no real surprises there. I do kind of like this. This is a very interesting adaptation on the Barbican Rush. So one of the things that you normally see players do when they go for a Barbican Rush is that they'll look to outpost up resources. So say for an example, like you see the berries back here, they'll look to get an outpost here, get arrow slits down on that, you know, maybe try and push the wood line or something like that. And you can actually see what has happened. So I Refuse to Play Delhi has actually come back over here, put down an archer, I think anticipating that almost. So normally I don't think in this type of build, or double blacksmith, baby, double blacksmith that's happening. People see the beastie cutie build order and they emulate, and I like it. I like it. Like, people pick it up so quickly. It's really good to see. But now it looks like, so with the adaptation, so typically with China, like one of the things that happens is you're a little bit weaker than other civs before you sort of get going. But once you get going, that's when you really start to take off. Now we see the Imperial Academy coming up. So this obviously, the Imperial Academy is going to enable the dynasty to hit for Peru. And then once that comes through, obviously going to unlock the Chokunu, which is coming through here. And then, of course, going to unlock the ability to double up the gold production from the Imperial officials again. So already they'd taken 40. So now it will go up to 80, sorry. So my proposal is the same way that the town center can create an Imperial official, just make it so the Imperial Academy can also train an Imperial official. That'd be pretty cool. It makes sense, right? Like, it just makes sense. It just makes sense that an Imperial official would be trained at the Imperial Academy. But now we do see the Chogunu coming out of the early archery range. Now, the problem is with the barracks and the archery range being out here is that you're not going to have the Imperial official to buff it up, because typically you would want these in your base sitting underneath your town center, and you would just want to be focusing on that, you know, bringing in all those extra resources. A little bit of a mistake here, not empowering up that mill, but now it sounds like we've got a bit of action, a little bit of archers coming through. Imperial official actually coming to the front line. So it looks like Peru really committing to this. Quite a smart move. Wolf getting picked up here as well. I'm not sure exactly what that was all about, Mr. Delhi player. But now we can see he's got all those texts through. Herbal Medicine going to be coming through. All-Seeing Eye. No Piety coming through, though. A bit weird. So normally you would see that. Looks like going to be going for the Scholars straight into the... or from the Dome of the Faith into the mosque. But now starting to build up that massive Chokunu. You can see him starting to push forward. So what I would expect is he was... Okay, good. He was quite heavy on wood, so I would expect that he would be adding in a blacksmith very, very shortly, and we already see that. So typically in this situation, you're going to be looking to get +1. So you can see that he's got 4 attack, so he does 3 shots every... Or he does 4 damage every 3 shots. Oh, sorry. He does 3 shots in total. Each one of them does 4 damage. Let's go with that one. Now, this is actually really smart. So, remember I talked about the adaptation. So, typically you'd see like towers, or speaking of towers. I say speaking of towers, but oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Not like this, Mr. Delhi man. You gotta stop. You hate to see it. You gotta stop refusing to play Delhi a bit more and start playing it, embrace it. So one of the interesting things that happens with the Chokunu is that it's very hard to reach a critical mass, just typically because your enemy is going to be making cavalry. Now, one of the things is that this Delhi player hasn't really made a lot of cavalry yet, but even if they did, let's say even if they got up to, say, like 10 cav or something like that, they can't actually really push into the Chokunu because of the Barbican of the Sun. It does so much damage, so you can see it does that 25, and then, you know, you can always retreat back your Chokunu back to the Barbican as well. You can micro them in and out of that. There's so much damage, it's really difficult to deal with. And so as a result, it's very interesting because you can kind of convert this frontline aggression into an actual meaningful attack, if that makes sense. So I think it's kind of smart, but we can actually see, I think all 3 sacred sites have been taken. No, 2 sacred sites have been taken. The third one, I mean, let's not talk about what happened down there, Mr. I Refuse to Play Delhi. But definitely under a bit of assault at the front here, and quite a fair bit of damage coming out from the Choku Nu as well. Now all 3 sacred sites being taken there by the Delhi player. Short of 10 minutes, so not too bad at all. Sanctity coming in. If you can get them by 10 minutes, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, but still adding in Choku Nu. Is he? No, he's not adding in any Choku Nu at the moment. Going to be going for a battering ram, so looking to up the ante a little bit and go quite all in. And I do like this play against the Delhi because typically the Delhi have got a window where they get strong, and it's probably not for about another 2 or 3 minutes. Ideally, they want to just try and go even when it comes to like these sorts of engagements. Maintain control of the sacred sites, get up to the 3rd age, get to those men at arms. You know, that's what really matters. Men at arms, crossbows, that sort of thing. Probably wouldn't be going crossbows against this map, this composition of units. Probably want to be going lances or something like that instead. But now actually going to be coming through, and we can see going to continue actually bringing out more and more scholars. A little bit of a villager run down there as well. But now behind this, you can actually see that we've got plenty of walls coming up, bit of defense coming up as well. Where is our Delhi player? Okay, there are the horsemen coming through finally. But keep in mind, even with the Delhi player going into horsemen, you can see 26 Choku Nu now coming out, absolutely wrecking these archers. You can see how quickly they went down. And now just going to be falling back. Moss going to be going down as well. Does have its piety research. And you can see that the scholars are trying their best to heal up, but they're just getting completely Gatling gun right there. You hate to see it. It's not very often that you get to see Choku Nu just absolutely being amazing. But that is very impressive. First landmark has gone down. Mosque has gone down. And now battering ram, battering down the hatches. Gonna begin focusing down, I would suspect the town center. Looks like it's going to be heading north though, actually coming in towards the house. Probably a smart move. I would honestly head down towards this direction, probably hit the archery range, try and hit that production. That's really where it's going to start hurting. Now second battering ram coming out as well. We'll check in with Delhi. We'll see what they're up to. Doesn't look like they're really that close to aging up at the moment. Villager's going to get pulled here. Choku Nu coming in. You can see them trying their best to make some magic happen, but villagers do get taken down. So got to be careful there with those little villagers. We'll do a quick stock take. 36 villagers at the moment for the Delhi player and 41 for Peru. So not a huge difference there. Typically, you would expect it a little bit bigger with the Song dynasty. But obviously that hasn't come yet. Now, one of the things I would have loved to have seen from our Chinese player is just to send one unit out to the sacred sites. But before we talk about that, look at the Choku Nu now. They're on the front line. You can see the archers actually teeing off towards the spears. And now it looks like the horsemen going to be really trying to get in there. The villagers are on the back line here, repairing up the battering ram. Now going to be coming in. You can see they've got their daggers out. Horsemen going to be looking to actually take them out, and villagers tanking up on the front line here. At the same time, Choku Nu in the back. Does he have his +3? Or he does have the +1 range, so only taking 1 damage from these Choku Nu. But you can see the Choku Nu just absolutely ripping through this because they do 1 damage minimum, and they do a burst of 3 shots. So they do 3 damage at least, so 19. And this is exactly what I was talking about even if you had like 10 cavalry units, which is I think what our Delhi player had, about 10, maybe 10 or 11, that you will still probably lose. He wasn't even fighting under the Barbican. Can you imagine if he was fighting under the Barbican, how different that would have been? Battering rams now moving in. It's not looking pretty right now for our Delhi player. He is going up to the 3rd age, and it can be pretty hard here from China, because typically you would think that going as China into this position, you're probably not going to be doing too well. Part of the reason why is because your Choku Nu don't do a lot of damage to the men-at-arms that are about to come out. So the problem is that the men-at-arms are just going to kind of eventually overwhelm you. So in the lower numbers, like 5 or 6, that's easy to deal with. But once you start getting up to like 10 or 11, that's really where it starts to get difficult, because you're just having to kite all day. But now Town Center going to be focused down here. We'll tune in with our Delhi player and see exactly what they're up to, what they've got in queue. It looks like exactly what we expected. Men-at-arms coming in queue at the moment. Going to be, no, not going to be getting owned Blade. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about owned Blade. You don't need owned Blade. That is not of your concern, my friends. But now we can really see this Choku Nu mass beginning to build here. It's looking incredibly strong here for the Chinese player. And behind this, as I mentioned before, I mean, villager count not that healthy. 39, I think. It's 38 for the Delhi player, so he's definitely not out of it. But second landmark has got down. He's got 1 landmark remaining. It's up to the north here, the House of Learning. You can see it is kind of far away, but men-at-arms now are going to be coming in, and we'll watch as the as the Zhuge Nu try and defend themselves. And you can see how much damage comes out here. We'll watch and see. You look at the damage that comes out. So the Zhuge Nu are just able to kite away and focus these guys down individually. And you can see how much damage gets done. And the crazy part is, if we check right now, these men-at-arms, they've got 5 ranged armor. The Zhuge Nu does 4 ranged damage. It's literally, it has 1 more armor than damage from the Zhuge Nu, but as a bare minimum, they do 1 damage per shot, which is what makes them actually quite strong, because they do 3 damage a volley, like, or you know, 3 damage, 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 1, 1. So they're doing 3 damage per volley there. But now battering rams moving back. Ideally, you'd like to see China actually move towards the north here in this position and head up in that direction. But now you can see the men-at-arm mass beginning to build. He's sitting on about 9 men-at-arms at the moment, but really, Peru is looking for the kill here. Hello, what do we got down here? We got ourselves a little bit of a mangonel. Okay, this kind of reminds me of the way that the English are played. So typically in this situation, the English are going very heavy on bows. Exactly what is happening right here. So you would go long bows in this situation instead of Zhuge Nu, and spears, you just have a handful. Battering rams falling back to your outpost, which was the Barbican. That would be the thing. And then the counter to that is actually the mangonel. But now we see the men-at-arms running in, and you can see the men-at-arms just having a bit of a tough time here. 14 men-at-arms in total. Going to be falling back. How many Zhuge Nu are we talking about here? 44 Zhuge Nu. That is a lot of Zhuge Nu. That's actually almost enough to one-shot a men-at-arms. But now mangonel unfolding. It's a huge shot into the middle right now. He's still on 44 Zhuge Nu. He's got to wake up right now. Peru, wake up. Mangonel shot coming in again. Second one, he gets 11 Zhuge Nu lost in that single volley, and you can see so many of them are down to low health now. He's completely falling apart. The mangonel actually comes out and clean sweeps all of the Zhuge Nu up. Keep in mind, he's got the 3 sacred sites behind this as well, so he's absolutely pumping out. Villagers actually coming down here, healing it up. You can see the Zhuge Nu going to be trying its best to focus down these units. Looks like a little bit of a attack ground going off there. Mangonel does go down. I'm not sure exactly what was happening there with the villagers. They were standing there. Like, I saw the healing go off, but I didn't actually see it healing at all. Normally that thing heals like crazy, but now you can see the men-at-arms just completely destroying through Peru's absolute army. 3 minutes until the sacred sites come through, and you can see right now that Peru has yet to take that. He's in a difficult position now, because even though the town center is gone, he never actually took out the House of Learning. You can see he's sieging it with the scout, but at the same time, the man-at-arms are going to continue moving back right now, and he is pushing him back, and at the same time, he's just going to be getting so many resources funneling in from these sacred sites. You can see 450 gold a minute, and the China taps out. In this situation, the Chinese player taps out. He says, you know what? It's not enough for me. The mangonel shot really was what destroyed me, and then that's just it, fellas. I hope you've enjoyed this custard game. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And it turns out Delhi is actually quite damn strong.